one of the most brutal executions and slaughters in all of medieval history took place from the 15th of July onwards. And it wasn't a one-day event, because there were no bombs back then. There was no nuclear weapon, you press the button. There were no missiles that come in from apartheid regimes. No, the way you kill people back then was one person at a time via the sword. For days, Muslims were tied up, lined up, families they stood there and they slaughtered every single human being who lived in the city. More than 100,000 innocent lives were lost over the course of a week. The chroniclers who record the event, they mention with pride that the streets of Jerusalem are filled with blood. One of them mentioned the blood reached his ankles as he's walking in the streets. Another European chronicler visited Jerusalem 1 year later, and he said the stench of the bodies and of the rotting corpses after a year was so bad that he had to cover his nose with his sleeve as he walked into the city.
The story of the Crusader fixation and occupation of Bayt al-Maqdis is a highly significant chapter in the long history of contestation in the Holy Land. The contours of events in this most substantial Crusader era are widely understood. Pope Urban II declared a crusade on the Muslim world in 1095, a pronouncement akin to the call to a medieval world war. By 1099, its recruits, fired up with the cross and conceptions of the significance of the Holy Land, stood at the gates of Jerusalem. On the 15th of July, 1099, Masjid al-Aqsa fell from Muslim hands for the first time since Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu's liberation in a most dreadful fashion.
You think it's bad today? I keep telling people, for 90 years this place was a palace. There was no adhan taking place here, no buzz of the Quran being read. These walls were crying out for the Quran to be recited, for the dhikr of Allah to be made. Nothing. A gold cross was on the Qubbat al-Sakhra. Next door, that Marwanids made stables. That's what happened here for over 90 years. You couldn't come into this city.